Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine Cabrera and today we're going to be doing a few exercises in how to help lower back pain. Now I have been off YouTube, Instagram, Facebook for over a month now. I've now like re-downloaded Instagram and Facebook, but I haven't posted anything yet. And in that time, I was planning to do a whole heap of content, but I got super busy with work because I'm now teaching. I teach Pilates and bar and HIIT and spin like full time. So finding time to actually film, it wasn't one of my top priorities, and I was suffering from iron deficiency as well, so I was exhausted all the time. I would literally be teaching and sleeping, and that was it. So that's getting under control now, and through that as well, I started getting really bad sacroiliac joint pain. So it's kind of where your pelvis attaches onto, so your ilium, which is the back of your pelvis, attaches onto your sacrum, which is the bottom part of your spine. And I'm pretty sure it's from being hypermobile, so I have a lot of mobility in my hips. I've talked about that in a previous video, the flexibility one, and it's really bad. The pain is really bad. It's just because it's a joint that's not meant to move too much, and mine moves a lot, and it's literally just bone on bone, and it hurts. Like, I never really thought too much about lower back pain, and I know that people who suffer with it, it really, like, it takes a big toll on them, and I now can relate because it's terrible. Like, I can't train much, just if I'm in pain, like I can't, and if I do train, depending on what I'm doing, it could make it 10 times worse the next day or a few hours after, and then that is detrimental to my teaching and being able to teach. So I've been finding spin especially really hard to teach, just being on a bike. Yeah, that's probably the hardest class. Because the Pilates isn't too bad and bar isn't too bad because I'm not doing too much of the movement. So we are going to be going through my favorite exercises at the moment to really help your core to stabilize your lower back. So pretty much, if you think about your abdominal muscles, they're kind of like a corset that wraps around your torso. I'm just going to move this. So your abdominal muscles wrap around like a corset, and they kind of hold you in. And your deepest layer of abdominal muscles is your transverse abdominis, and you can actually feel it in your lower abs. So what kind of happens is your rectus abdominis, which are your six-pack abs, they are at the front, and then they kind of tuck underneath your transverse, and your transverse comes on the top. It's kind of like sits underneath. So the best way to activate this is actually turning on this section. Imagine that you have a T drawn from your hip bone to hip bone, and then a vertical line drawn from your pubic bone up to meet that horizontal line. Now what you want to do with this line is you want to draw it in and down. It's if you're trying to tie on a tight pair of jeans. The best way to do this is if you lie on your back. Okay, so best way to do this is if you place 2 fingers where your hip bones are and then bring them in slightly. So you're in the squishy part of your hips. Now if you pull your hip bones in and together or suck up, you should feel a little muscle tighten underneath your fingertips. Now if you cough, if you're finding it hard to find, cough, and you'll feel that little muscle jump out at you, and that's your transverse abdominis, and that's the one that you want to be trying to work to create that corset around you. So, and this is really big in Pilates. I've done a lot of Pilates teaching and training, especially recently, and as much as some of the exercises really hurt my back, some of them make my back so much better. So it's about turning that on and then working with that vertical line. So from your back passage to waterways, pulling that up, and then that creates that T on the front of the pelvis. So it's that feeling of stopping yourself going to the toilet, like that feeling of bracing. So you want to turn all that on while you do all the exercises, and that's really going to help stabilize that core and work those deepest layer of abdominal muscles that create that corset. So in all the exercises, that's what I want you to focus on, is that, and we call it in Pilates our T-zone. So when I say T-zone, that's what I am referring to. And then, so we'll just go over, we'll start in a neutral spine. So how you get into neutral spine is you want your hip bones in line with your pubic bone, slight gap underneath the lower back, and tailbone on the ground. Now we're going to inhale, engage that T-zone, draw those ribs to your hips. And all we're going to do is just really bracing that core. Just bring one leg up to tabletop, so on a 90-degree angle. Ugh, you can't really see my leg. There we go. So bring one leg up to tabletop. So your knee is over top of your hip, and then just bring it back down. Now, you want to switch legs, but without moving those hips at all. So you're drawing that T-zone in and on, so nothing else moves. Now this is really good at just warming up that T-zone and practicing getting it on. You can feel it and make sure it stays on the whole time. So that's a really good one to start with. If you're finding that you're getting that one, you're not moving through the hips and that, then you can, there's heaps and heaps of exercises you can do on the ground. So keeping that neutral spine, you can do some leg slides, same thing. Keeping all this nice and still, sliding one leg out. You can do lift and extend. It's all about working those lower abdominal muscles. Just go nice and slowly. With this one, the lower your leg is, the harder it's going to be. Only bring that leg as low as you can without arching through the lower back. So you're keeping that neutral spine, you're keeping your ribs drawing down to your hips, T-zone on, shoulders back and down. And then we want to bring the legs up to tabletop. So we're going to draw our ribs down to meet our hips. So we imprint the spine, tailbone stays on the ground, but pubic bone lifts slightly up as we bring one leg up, and then we bring the other leg up. Now my favorite one to do here, keeping your tailbone on the ground, lower back is trying to press into the ground, is just do some toe taps. So we just tap one toe on the ground and then the other toe. Depending on your lower back pain, you may or may not find this position comfortable or uncomfortable. It depends. Sometimes an imprinted spine is more comfortable than neutral, sometimes it's not. So I kind of just go with how I'm feeling as to what exercises I do. At the moment, this isn't too bad. And I have clients that can't do imprinted and can't get their legs up to tabletop, and because this is very weak. So we're really trying to work on the transverse to really keep everything nice and stable. And I have one client who actually can now get up into tabletop and stay here without any pain in her lower back. So from there, you can tap further out to make it a little harder. To make it really hard, you can squeeze your legs together and do some double toe taps. This one really works your abdominals. Only bring those legs out as far as you can without arching through the lower back. So you really want to draw ribs, hips, brace that core. And then you can do extending ones. You can extend the leg out one at a time. Again, the lower your leg goes, the harder it's going to be, but only lower it as far as you can without arching through the lower back. So they would be my top, how many exercises did I do? I don't know, around like my top 3 to 5, I don't know how many exercises there was, but around 3 to 5 exercises that are really good at just starting to get that core on, switched on, working, and really trying to work those abdominals, your lowest level of abdominals, your TA. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for videos that you'd like me to do in the future, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.